What's going on, future millionaires? I'm Mike the Investor, and today we're going to be doing a quick update on some crypto dates for this month that you want to be aware of, which I've talked about in the past, but I just want to make sure you're aware due to everything that's been happening in the market, mainly due to the Russia and Ukraine war. Once again, sending positivity and prayers out to those people. But we're going to be diving into remember what the Fed said and also some things to remember what should be taking place after these dates in March. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it right after this. All right, welcome back to the channel. Now, just on March 1st, the crypto market reached over 2 trillion in market cap again. And now we can see as of yesterday and today, things are back red and we are under 2 trillion again. So let's briefly take a look at the market. So we are right here on CoinGecko, and we can see at the time of this video, we are down almost 5% at 4.9%, and you can see the market cap is right under 1.9 at 1.891 trillion. Now you can see Bitcoin is definitely pulling back. It hit a high of 44 when the market reached over 2 trillion again just a few days ago, and now here we are at 40.7. And so one thing I want to show you, if you look at the crypto fear and greed index, you can see we're currently at 33, which I believe is probably going to get a little bit lower as more things unfold. But one thing I want to talk about here is remember what the Fed said that will be starting to take place, after the dates in March. And so let's briefly take a look at what he says. So remember, it was only a few months ago that the Fed announced that it would gradually taper its quantitative easing, known as QE, bond purchases. Now, ending QE is slowly raising interest rates is one thing, but a quick turn to quantitative tightening has led many investors to believe that the Fed is willing to slow down economic growth in order to keep inflation under control. Now, the Fed did a very deliberate job with tapering by giving amounts of notice, but in a short period of time, they said they were going to accelerate tapering, we're going to raise rates, and we're going to tighten our balance sheet. And then it goes on to say in their final meeting of last year, December 2021, the FOMC announced that it would ramp up the speed at which it pairs its bond purchases, putting the nation's central bank on course to eliminate emergency QE program a few months earlier than expected. And so if they're thinking about stopping QE and selling these assets off of the balance sheet sooner than expected, that's also going to put a shock to the markets, right? And so the main three things that's going to be happening, we have interest rates, which I believe the first set of hike is already baked in. However, we have other things that's going to contribute to that. So interest rates, number one, we have the Fed tapering, which means they're going to be selling assets off of the close to 9 trillion balance sheet, which is crazy. And about 5 trillion of that balance sheet, they printed between 2020 and 2021. And they're going to start tapering those assets off of the balance sheet. And then the third thing we have is the stopping of QE, quantitative easing. And this is when the money they were printing, they was injecting that liquidity into the markets. And so just think about this for a second. If you think about where the markets was back when the pandemic first hit, right? Things were in a complete flux. We had things closing down for the first time in history. Everything was going crazy. And this is when they started printing so much money to help keep the markets at a stable rate, right? And so now with things coming back around fourfold, we have the market still in a bad condition, but now they have to actually start selling those assets where they printed the money to pump those assets. So you can see how this is not good for the markets. And so those three things are definitely major you want to pay attention to. And so the dates is March 15th, March 16th is when the Fed will be meeting this month, which is when we should see the first hike of interest rates, which again, I do believe it is pretty much already hiked in. All right, so a couple things you want to remember about the Fed meeting. Number one, typically they meet on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And number two, typically it is 6 weeks out when they have their next main meeting. All right, now they can meet more than that before the 6 weeks actually happen if there is something big that they need to talk about, such as monetary policies, as well as, interest rates. And so with that being said, I just want to give a quick update on the March 15th and March 16th Fed meeting, which they should be doing the first interest rate hike. So I just want you guys to be aware of it, because we could definitely see, some turbulence in the market, definitely that we're seeing right now. But that's all I got for you. If you gain some value in this quick video, smash the like button. It helps the channel out more than you know. And I'm out.